What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thanks for tuning in. So today we're getting back to work on the headlight build for the truck. Woke up a little early this morning, Saturday morning. Woke up not feeling great, but I was sitting around doing nothing. I don't like doing that, so I figured I might as well get out here and do some work. So we're going to start plugging away. Starting to feel better, so it's probably nothing. I'm not too worried about it. The goal is to get these headlights nearly done or done this weekend. Knock on wood. I think I should be able to get close to that point. As you saw in the previous clip or the start of the video, got them baked in the oven and opened up, so now I have access to the inside of the headlights. Quick little brief explanation of that is they have most aftermarket headlights have a butyl sealant around the perimeter of the headlight or around the lens that seals it and creates a weatherproof seal. That starts to get soft as you heat it up, like a lot of glues. So most people say around 200, 225 for 10 to 15 minutes. I did about 12 minutes at a time for the first one, and I just kept rewarming it as needed, which, as you saw, was a number of times. I will say I should have been wearing gloves. They were quite toasty. I've only burned myself a few times, but my fingers were a bit sore the next day. But I got them all opened up. It's not too hard. It's just a little bit tedious, and that butyl sealant is a little, not a little, it's really sticky. So it's a bit of a pain, but I got it all opened up. So here's where we're at now. Here's where we're at now with the headlights opened up. I've got the lower shroud removed there. That one just screws into place nice and easy. And now the tricky one is this main shroud that your headlight actually sits in. Down here, you should be able to see it fairly well. These are little like ball sockets that it sits onto. There are the plastic clips around onto a metal ball socket. And then up here, over here, you have your adjustment screw that has a different type of attachment there. And so when I did the original part of this video, I kind of stopped at this point because I was late. I didn't want to break anything because this is kind of a critical point in the process. If I break these, it's basically needing to get new headlights, and I really don't want to have to buy new headlights. So hopefully I can get these popped off safely without breaking the plastic clips. You all know how that goes. I'm thinking I'll be heating them up with a heat gun, get them nice and warm, and see if I can pop them off. Honestly, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to be getting this one off yet, but I think if I can get these two free, it'll give me a better look at how I can address that. Yeah, that's basically where we're at this point. I don't think it deserves too much talking. I guess give you guys a little sneak peek at what the actual projectors are going to look like. Got them here in the box. Let's see. So this is what the actual lens is going to be looking like, so that you guys can see it. That's mounting hardware. And then do this one-handed. Here we go. This is what the actual lens of the light is going to look like inside the housing. So if you're wondering, this is what a projector looks like, or the housing of a projector headlight. Most of the time when you see it, you're just looking at that very front end of it. I got a hair on it. Looking at that very front end of it. So how it kind of works is, or how it's going to work is, it's got this threaded shaft on the back that we're going to be going through that hole right there, and obviously kind of clamping the projector in place through that mounting location. And then basically all you have to do is make sure that, one, you get that seated nice and cleanly, and two, that it's nice and level, which we'll be able to do once we actually get it hooked up, and then we'll plug it in and check the levelness of the headlights. But that's kind of what we're doing. So if you guys are wondering why you have to tear it apart this far, mainly, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. Yeah, you can. So this is the back of that shroud, and there's this, obviously the projector will go through here, and it looks like, which is nice, I don't think I'm going to have to expand this hole at all. It looks like it's big enough, so that's good. But I'm guessing that this section is probably about that thick, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get those threaded shafts. I don't think they're long enough to be able to seat it properly, and so I think I'm going to have to, as with most people, cut this down a little bit, and then I should be able to seat it all nice and cleanly. We'll see. I think I'm gonna, now that I'm looking at it closely and looking at the projector, I'm probably gonna cut this part out, which I'm gonna have to anyways, and then set the projector in there just to see what it looks like. So without too much talk, without much more talking, that's what I'm gonna get started on. I'll throw you guys back on time lapse. Well, alrighty guys, I think it's time for another update. I made a good amount of progress, nothing crazy. I actually went inside, grabbed some lunch, and took a little bit of a nap, and I'm feeling much better, so that's good. I'm ready to start plugging away some more, or I have been plugging away some more. So let me show you guys where I'm at. I've basically, as you see, I got both the shrouds out, I've got them cut and trimmed. And so now it's actually going into the process of fitting the projectors into the housings themselves. And so it's kind of getting exciting because it's starting to come together. I got a long ways to go, but it's starting to come together, which is pretty cool. So here you go. This is what it's looking like inside the housing. As you can see, that's how it kind of sits in there. I know it might be a little tricky to see because it's all reflective, but it's sitting in there pretty good. I didn't end up having to make the hole bigger, which is nice, and actually it's almost a little too big for this washer, but the next sized up is a little large, so I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to be using this washer or the other washer, but for now I'm just trying it with this. It seems to be pretty darn solid, but as you can see, it's not, if it's not perfectly centered, it does get a little, it's close. Well, let's just say that it's close. So then down here you saw I drilled a hole. That was basically just to route these wires through. We'll explain what those wires are. There's basically, those are the solenoid for the wires powering the solenoid for the high beams. So as you, when you're running these lights, they run and they have that nice crisp cutoff, and that's from that actual, you can kind of see it in there, that shield or whatever you want to call it that flips up and is in the way of the actual light itself. And that's what gives you the crisp cutoff. Because it's going through a sphere, everything is reversed 180 degrees or upside down. So that's on the bottom there, but it's on the top when you're driving. Light, science, all that fun stuff. But when you power up the high beams, let's see if I can show you guys. When you power up the high beams and you flip them on, it actually brings that down there. So it opens up entirely and it shines through the entire lens, or it lets all the light through. Then you let off the high beams and it flips back up. I know that's kind of hard to see, but you guys should be able to understand that. But yeah, so that's what it's looking like right now. you're out of focus. The camera's not liking trying to focus on this. So at this point, I think it's time to start trimming the actual shrouds that are going to sit over it. So you got this shroud, then we got this shroud. I think it would be called a shroud. But this is what is actually going to sit inside or over the top of it, so you can't see all that stuff back there. You'll be looking at this. So as you can see, it is a very tight fit. I will be trimming this shroud. I could have gone and ordered, I didn't really think about it at the time. This is just from my inexperience. They make smaller versions of these, and I didn't pay attention to that. So it is what it is. It's not uncommon to trim these shrouds anyway, so it's not a huge deal. It is just a little more work. So I'll end up trimming it. Looks like I'll be trimming most of it off the bottom because it's a little closer to the bottom there. And she'll be going together. I don't know how long this video is already, but it seems like it's getting pretty long, and I don't want to bore you guys to death on a long video. So I think I might call that a wrap for today's video. Hopefully it was enjoyable for you guys. Got a pretty good amount of progress done, nothing crazy. Obviously they're not in the truck yet, but I'm going to keep working on it the rest of tonight and probably most of tomorrow. And hopefully have another video out for you guys real quick. But I think that'll be it for this video. Let me know what you guys think of it. I think they're looking pretty darn sweet. It should be pretty cool. You'll have to imagine that it's going to have the other amber shroud down below here for just the running lights. Then I'll have this housing sitting around it like that. And then it'll be inside of the... It'll be inside. Here, let me go grab that real quick. Alright, this isn't giving you guys a great example, but you can kind of see it'll be sitting in it like that. It'll have that black shroud around it. I think it's going to be turning out pretty freaking awesome. So yeah, that's where we're at for right now. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how things are going. Like I've said, this is the first time I've ever doing any of this stuff, so it's going pretty slow. I'm taking my time, trying not to mess anything up, and just figuring out how it goes. The directions on the website and everything aren't phenomenal by any means, because these are universal. They can't really give specific directions on how exactly to do it for your headlight housing, because they go on hundreds if not thousands of, probably hundreds of different types of headlights. So it's kind of figuring out as you go along, which is okay. It just takes a little bit longer. As always, if you guys like the video, leave it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. I'm always willing to answer them. As of right now, I'm still able to get back to all of you guys. Don't forget, if you are interested in winning the giveaway for those new door emblems that I showed in my last video, make sure to go back to that video and leave something in the comments. That's all you have to do to enter for it, is just have some sort of comment in the comment section, and you'll be entered for the giveaway. If you're interested in this build or other automotive diesel truck content, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. Looking forward to seeing how these headlights turn out. It should be pretty awesome. I'm excited for it. This video is probably going up on Sunday morning, so hopefully you guys all had a good Saturday. Hopefully you have a good Sunday. The weather out here is starting to get pretty cold and damp. For any of you guys familiar with fall in Oregon, you'll know that it is a very wet time of year. Basically a fall, winter, and the first part of spring. It's 6 months of rain, so it's starting to get to that point, but we still have some nice weather for now, but it's getting there. I absolutely love fall, but it's going to make getting videos done a little hard with all the rain, so we're going to see, but we'll figure that out in the future. If you guys like the video, leave a thumbs up, leave your comments down below. I'll catch you guys on the next video.